A very warm welcome to this new session. My name is Ms. Prachivani, and today let us talk about demand and capacity management. Let's begin with this quote, which says, balancing the supply and demand sides of a service industry is not easy, and whether a manager does it well or not makes all difference. So to begin with, let's remember that fluctuation in demand threatens the service productivity. Fluctuating demand is a major challenge for many types of service organizations, including restaurants, courier services, hotels, and call centers. These demand fluctuations may range in frequency from hourly to seasonal, or for a month, or for more than a month. So, by working collectively with managers in operations and human resource, companies may be able to develop strategies to bring demand and capacity into balance, which will help generate benefit for customers as well as for employees and suppliers. So let us understand where is the problem when we talk about balancing the demand and supply. See, unlike manufactured goods, services are perishable and they cannot be stockpiled for sale at a later date or day. This is the major problem for any capacity constrained service that faces swings in demand. The problem is seen in process people driven businesses like food service, repair and maintenance, entertainment, healthcare, transportation, information and labor sensitive services like accounting. So there are four common conditions which are faced by fixed capacity services. The first one is excess demand. Here, the level of demand exceeds maximum available capacity with the result that some customers are actually denied the service and then the business is lost. So for example, you are visiting a restaurant and the restaurant manager tells you that they are sold out and they refuse a table. That's the example of excess demand. The second condition that we have is demand exceeds optimum capacity. Here, no one is turned away, but then the conditions are crowded, the place is crowded, and customers are likely to perceive uh, a low quality service and they might feel dissatisfied. So, here, let's say people are waiting for a table in a restaurant and they're waiting for long, and obviously, in that return, they're getting upset. The third condition is balance. Demand and supply are well balanced. So here, this is the level of optimum capacity. Staff and facilities are busy without being overworked and customers receive good service without any kind of delays. So here, the number of covers or number of the capacity of the restaurant is getting balanced with the demand from the customers. So let's say you have 50 covers in the restaurant, you do have 50 people coming and dining in the restaurant. The last condition is excess capacity. Here, demand is below optimum capacity and productive resources are underutilized. That means you have empty tables in the restaurant. So you have a restaurant of 50 covers and you have only 20 covers which are being sold for a particular day. So these are the four conditions as we discussed. Let's move ahead. So what is the solution to this problem? The first thing that can be done is effective use of productive capacity is one of the secret to the success in such businesses. The goal should not be to use employees and equipment and facilities to the maximum, but to use them productively. So when looking at productivity, remember service quality should not be compromised or the customer experience should not be degraded. So when demand is fluctuating, what can be done? There are two approaches that we can look at. The first one is adjust the level of capacity to meet variations in demand. This approach needs an understanding of what constitutes productive capacity or how it can be increased or decreased. The second approach is manage level of demand. In such case, smooth out the peaks and fill the valleys to generate consistent flow of request for service. Now, a firm's capacity to serve additional customers at a particular time are often limited. Service firms also cannot always manage to reduce their productive capacity during periods of low demand. It's commonly seen that services firms face the said problem often than a information-based processes. So what is productive capacity? It refers to the resources or assets that a firm can use to create goods and services. In a service context, productive capacity can take several forms. So let us look at those forms now. The first form that we are talking about is physical facilities designed to contain consumers. Here, what happens is physical facilities designed to contain customers and used for delivering people processing services or mental stimulus processing services. Examples, hotels, passenger aircrafts, or college classrooms. So the primary capacity constraint is like to be defined in terms of such furnishing as beds, rooms, or seats. The second form is physical facilities designed for storing and processing goods. Example, let's say a parking lot in a particular mall. The third form is physical equipments used to process people's possessions and or information. Here the example is bank ATM. So for example, if you do not have a bank ATM in an area wherein there is tremendous demand for a ATM, people are going to get a little upset over non-availability of bank ATMs. Labor. Here, this is the key element of productive capacity in all high contact services. So staffing level, especially in restaurants or in hospitals or call centers, it needs to be sufficient to meet the anticipated demand. So then in that case, the customers are not waiting, or if they're waiting also, they're waiting for a shorter duration. The last form is infrastructure. Here, many organizations are dependent on access to sufficient capacity in the public or private infrastructure to be able to deliver the quality service to their own customers. Okay, so it could be about, they could face problems about congested airways or the road traffic, or there's work happening on the road, or there is a metro work happening. So infrastructural problems could also be a major barrier. Now, the next question is, can you stretch the capacity levels? So the answer is yes. So capacity of the service personnel can be stretched, and many will be able to work at high levels of efficiency for shorter duration of time, but staff can get tired, and that will definitely have an impact on the quality. An additional of extra covers or seats can help organizations to meet the demand during peak time. Extend time duration of the service or services that are getting offered, or offer a simple form of service when the time is busy. So these four solutions can be really looked at when you are talking about stretching the capacity level. Now, adjusting capacity to match demand. The first thing that can be done is schedule downtime during periods of low demand. So as companies, you have to make sure that any kind of repair or renovation should happen when the demand is expected to be low, or when you are giving holidays to employees, that is not happening at the peak time. Use part-time employees. Many organizations hire extra workers during their busiest period. So let's say for a restaurant or for a retail shop during a Christmas time or a Diwali time, you are calling for extra staff for any kind of additional work that is coming along. Rent or share extra facilities and equipments. Here, to limit investments in fixed assets, a service business can actually rent an extra space during a peak time. Cross-train employees. Here, even when the service delivery system appears to be operating at full capacity, we can definitely have our employees getting cross-trained to perform a variety of tasks. Hope you have watched the video carefully. Quiz link is given in the video description. Do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to put a comment. On that note, thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you for the next session.